All right, one of the baddest in the game, Bad Bunny, has kicked off his worldwide tour in Puerto Rico, his home. And during his homecoming, the reggaeton superstar amplified issues important to many folks on the island, and that's gentrification, which has led to ongoing blackouts and the pollution of the island's beaches by wealthy developers. Joining me now to discuss all of this is Karina Del Valle Shorsky. She's a writer and translator who profiled Bad Bunny for the New York Times Magazine back in 2020. So happy to have you here, Karina. I think this is such an interesting story to discuss that I've not seen discussed across a lot of platforms, so happy to do it here. Right. Puerto Rico is seeing gentrification and development post-Hurricane Maria, of course, especially from mainland Americans who got that big tax break in return. I'm just curious to hear from you, what impact has this had on the island?
Yes, thanks so much for highlighting this issue. I think it actually makes more sense to call it settler colonialism than gentrification.
Absolutely.
Given that Puerto Rico is a colony of the United States, and these tax breaks that you mentioned, Law 22, and the other incentives benefit U.S. Buyers as opposed to local people. So I just think gentrification and colonialism are so linked, but, you know, I want to call it like I see it with that. I also think, I mean, this is an ongoing issue, the displacement of Puerto Ricans. You know, that was also happening at mid-century, and it's happening again today. And it was set up before the hurricane, even with the debt crisis and the defunding of public services, whether it's shutting down schools, lowering the minimum wage. So we've seen a massive outmigration. People can't afford, people are getting evicted, they can't afford to rent. Houses, you know, you walk around Puerto Rico and you see so many abandoned houses. Some of the houses are being reconstructed, and you go and you ask, who's going to occupy this house? And it's almost always an American who's going to rent it out on Airbnb, not even residing in Puerto Rico necessarily.
You know, this is so disappointing to hear. And, you know, just some of the other things that you pointed out, the displacement of residents, the tension of the influx in the island causes blackouts on the island, particularly around privatization of electricity. And the folks who are moving there, these are the finance and tech investors, a lot of crypto folks who benefited from that. For the folks who are displaced, what happens to them? Where do they go?
I mean, we're seeing one of the most major outmigrations from Puerto Rico since mid-century, since the 50s and 60s. But this time, Puerto Ricans aren't going to New York as much. They're going to Orlando, Florida in general, Pennsylvania, Texas, the American South. But, you know, people really don't want to go. A lot of times, you know, they're forced to go. There aren't any work options. They can't afford to find a place to live. So it's a form of forced migration, really, you know.
And I know I totally get your point. You're saying forced migration. You're saying, you know, Americans come there. But I do just want to point out to our viewers, to your point, calling this colonialism, Puerto Rico is a part of the United States. You know, it is American. So these folks are Americans. So when you say they're moving to places like Texas and Florida, they certainly should not have to. Their home is Puerto Rico. But if you move to Florida or Texas, please do register to vote because they can have great political power. And we saw that happen after Hurricane Maria the last time. I want to get into something else because we're talking about Puerto Rico being a part of the United States. And I know I've been watching this issue for a few years, back when I ran a platform called The Beat, about Puerto Rico is very divided. There are a lot of people who want independence from the U.S., and there are those who don't. I'm curious, how do most people on the island feel, and what's the benefit of either of these?
That's a very difficult question, and the so-called plebiscite votes that measure, you know, what people actually desire, usually have very low turnout because they're non-binding. Like, Puerto Ricans know that at the end of the day, you know, there's no voting power on the island, so they've lost faith in a kind of electoral measures to register their own preferences. I think, I mean, you know, Puerto Rican intellectuals and freedom fighters from past generations have talked about stuff like a Caribbean federation. You know, these are small islands. But I've noticed that a lot of people of the current generation talk less about independence per se and more about decolonization and sovereignty. So whether that means something like auditing the debt, you know, thinking less about what Puerto Rico owes investors and what the rest of the world owes, the debt the rest of the world owes to the Caribbean, which basically created finance capital through
Absolutely.
plantation slavery and other forms of extraction. So I think it's more about, it's very vulnerable. The whole Caribbean is very vulnerable to climate change. So it's about thinking even beyond national sovereignty to other forms of sustainability and independence that don't depend on maybe a vote
Right.
that may or may not be
Yeah.
honored by the United States.